Welcome back, Mavs fans. This is Kirk Henderson, and you are joining me for the first episode in a very long time of Group Therapy Live. For those of you who are new to this show or maybe haven't seen it before, I'm about to post a link in the YouTube comments there that I want you to consider clicking on, and I want you to consider basically coming and hanging out with me, talking about the game with me, talking about the Mavericks in general with me, telling me where you think I'm dead wrong or what you liked or disliked about that game. I try to do these, particularly in past seasons. I try to do these fairly frequently, but this year, just due to having a new baby and life, just haven't gotten around to it as much as I would like. So please go ahead and click that and consider coming and hanging out with me for a little while, because, you know, I sensed a lot of people that wanted to come talk. I was asked for this stream, and I really want to just kind of work out our feelings to a degree. All right, so coming up first, I got my man Sam. I've not seen Sam in quite some time. Really excited to talk with him. Sam, how are you doing, buddy?
Kirk, long time no talk. How you been, man?
I've generally great. Since this tonight, no.
I get it. I've been listening, I've been watching. You know, obviously the Mavs is up and down, but something about this game was just pathetic. I mean, well, a 3-game losing streak.
Sure.
You lose the Lakers on the road, you know, that can happen. The Lakers are a decent team. Then you have 5 days off. You lose to the Celtics. The Celtics are a great team, so it's no losing in that, but they came off a back-to-back. You got to have a little better effort than that. And then today, you're playing against your rivals. It's rivalry week, quote-unquote. Go up 48-32, and then you get outscored like, what, 68-27?
Yeah.
you just all you can do is laugh. And I kind of related to the Cowboys because what Luka did with the whole yelling at the fan, you know, he said he didn't want to get him ejected or whatever, but at the end of the day, he got ejected. Mm-hmm. So now it's kind of like, bro, you're the one guy that talks more than any other player in the league. Like, you talk just as much as any other player in the league. And when you're going good, you're good. But then when it starts to go bad and somebody says, get on a treadmill, it's a problem. Like, at some point, my guy, like, come on, dog. Like, what are you going to do? Like, look at guys like Embiid. Look at guys like Jokic. Look at guys like SGA. Look at guys like Tatum. You know, I'm not even saying that, you know, obviously Jokic got MVPs and Embiid got MVPs. Tatum's been to the finals. SGA is one of the best players in the league right now. Mm-hmm. But you never see like their level go up and down. Even Jokic, he complains, but he has a calmness about him that Luka just for some reason doesn't have still. And he's been in the league, what, 6 years now?
This is his 6th year.
Yeah. And at some point, I get it. You may not have the talent of some of those other teams, but like, dog, at some point, like, I don't want to blame Luka because kid has a lot of blame too. Like, you just can't have your hands in your pockets. You just can't sit there and just look like. I mean, the problem is he said it. He's just watching like the rest of us. So whenever you see stuff like that, you're like, dog, what are you doing? Literally, what are you doing?
The challenge with the Luka discourse is you have to, and this is why we have conversations. This is why we're not on Twitter. This is why we're not on Reddit. This is why I'm not texting with friends. This is why we're talking. The problem with the Luka conversation is that it very quickly lacks any sort of nuance. I think it is completely fair to say that he deserves a ton of criticism for his behavior and what he takes away from this team when he is off his rocker. He is a leader. He is supposed to be the leader. We can expect more from him. That said, I also understand it. I do. I get why he's this mad at certain things. Like today was a little much, but like talking from the big picture, I get it. But you as a superstar simply cannot lose the thread like he did tonight. And there's going to be a lot of discourse back and forth about it within the Mavericks fan base the next few days. And I loathe that. I do. Because it shouldn't be what we're talking about at all, but it is. And that's just the way sports media consumption works. Fans, particularly fans of other teams, want to see drama. And if you give them drama, that's what you're going to talk about.
True. And even like me, I defend Luka. I mean, obviously, he's my favorite player right now. So I'm going to defend him to the ends of the earth. You got to be real about stuff, though, because I see some Luka fans, like, I'll go on other streams, and I'm like, bro, don't be blind, dog. Like, you can love Luka. You can back him. He can do no wrong. That's fine. But, like,
yeah, I don't like that. It's boring to me.
when he's wrong, he's wrong. It is. And I'll just say one more thing before I get off the whole kid.
Good.
I didn't want him to be higher than this, but he's here. So, you know, it is what it is at this point.
I really don't think he's going anywhere. To be honest,
like, he's been here. No, he's not. He's not. This is his third year here. And besides, like, one great stretch in the second half of the first year, he's really been shit. If you really want to look at it, if it's not coaching decisions, it's personnel decisions. It's taking guys off the floor. It's not calling timeouts. And then, like you said, I think you said it earlier, you know, the fact that he banged all his timeouts in the second half. It's like, hey, look, I took timeouts. Like, dog, come on, man.
It's performative. It's performative. It's like people who get on Twitter and retweet the thing and be like, I disagree with the bad thing in the world. Give me my brownie points. Like, shut up. Act. Don't talk.
Right. Exactly. So it's like it
is like point, Mike McCarthy. Oh, my God. Oh.
I don't want, but like at some point, I want to think, like, this is me being hella optimistic. I want to think this type of game will be like, okay, we got to do something. And I'm not even saying fire Kid, because I don't think they're going to do it either. But, like, something has to change.
Give me a players only meeting. Give me something.
Something, anything. Let's just say, hey, we got to get together. Like, this is like, unacceptable. Something. I need to hear some, bro, we had a meeting. We all talked. We hashed it out. This is what we're going to do. And I think they play against the Hawks on next, I believe. And Trae Young is playing. I'm not saying the Hawks are like a horrible team, but they're definitely not great. If we don't go out, and in my opinion, I'm not going to lie, we should stomp them. We got to stomp them. If we don't stomp them, I don't even know what to do at that point, to be honest, because it's just like this team we're literally on the same track as last year, and it's going to piss me off.
Now we're a little ahead. We got room, but the problem is the schedule's pretty brutal coming up. Here's night. Here I'm going to pitch you this idea, Sam, and then I'm going to let you go. How about as a unifying factor for us Mavs, for the Mavs fans who really conceptually don't like media, which is fine. I don't expect you to like media, but like the Mavericks fans. What if the Mavericks rallied around hating Tim McMahon? What if that was their rallying cry, being like, fuck this guy. We're going to go score a bunch of points and play. I don't care what you rally around. Do something. That's my point.
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem. Like, personally, I don't get the hate with Tim McMahon. He's just doing his job, so it's whatever.
That's fine.
But it's just like, if that's how you feel, that's how y'all feel, cool. If that gets y'all to play harder, get y'all to prove a point, by all means, fuck Tim McMahon. Cool. Go ahead. I don't have a problem with the man. He's doing his job. If he hears something and he reports it, that's what he's supposed to do.
He can take it too. I wouldn't say I'm friends with Tim. I know Tim. Tim's fine. He's fine with taking the shit. He's got a job. It's his job.
And we need more guys like that, to be honest. It's like, dog, you can't get fed bullshit 24/7. Like,
no, it's so great because I remember like there was all this stuff back when Dante Ellis was super pissed at Parsons' contract, right? We're talking like way back in the day, and he was writing about that. Like that was a thing. And fans were like, that's not true. You're just stirring locker room nonsense, blah, blah. And like, it was absolutely 1000% true because the NBA is a complicated league. It's an emotional league. Money matters. Things happen. That's where it's just like, hey, if things go sideways, rally around whatever you need to. Like, look, I don't care. Just make it happen and win some ball games.
Right. Because, I mean, at this point, like, I've kind of reserved our place in the play-in if we're lucky.
Yeah.
And who knows what could happen, because if they somehow miss the playoffs 2 years in a row with Luka and not even full prime yet,
they're not going to miss. No, they're not going to miss the playoffs. Like this is where. Anyway, okay. I got to go on to Brian, who Brian has been itching to cook with grease for like 5 days. He is my internet friend, and we talk in DMs. Though I would like to say Brian's my actual friend since I see him in face, as all of you are my actual friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, buddy.
You have a good night, Kirk.
Sam, I hope you come back. Sam is a legend, coming back from the old school days when I was doing this on Spotify Live and really all the way back to Locker Room. All right, coming up next is Brian. But if you are confused as to how these guys are talking, there is a link in the chat. I bring every single person up here so long as you aren't too mean to me. You can even be mean to me. I don't care. Like I've been married for 20 years. My wife is mean to me. We're fine. All right, coming up next, Brian. What's up?
Hello. Well, first, two quick corrections, right?
Mm.
One, I would call us friends.
Yes.
I think so. I would call us internet friends at the very least. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna hang out at some point IRL because I like meeting people.
Oh yeah, we definitely got to get beers and yell about this team. Secondly, not to upstage the big bro Sam. Shout out to him coming back and being on the show. Appreciate getting to hear his voice. The Lakers are not a decent team.
They're not?
Oh yeah. The Lakers are not a decent team. That is a bad team, and more than being a bad team, that is one of the worst offenses in the league, and we let them score 125 points on us. 125.
Okay, but like, I don't know if I compared D'Angelo Russell to that car that Homer designs in The Simpsons. Where it like that's D'Angelo Russell to me, where it's like Lakers fans are going to be like, "Come see D'Angelo
Don't
Russell.
You want this?
Look how good he did against the because he's on a tear. Like Russell is not my kind of player, but yeah, I know what you mean. I know you're right. But I have too much like LeBron and AD are going to make the All-Star team, and so it's like at some point, like, are the Lakers a good bad team or a bad good team? So I feel what you're saying though.
I'm wondering which one the Dallas Mavericks are at this point. Buddy, this was. I feel like I've said this was the worst loss of the season like 7 times already. I'm so sick of this, man. I hate everyone. I hate this team. I hate this coach. I hate our star. I hate the GM. I hate Cuban's not even the governor. He's making money angels into Allison's front yard. He doesn't care about any of this.
I think he cares a lot. I'm very critical of him, but there's only like as a guy who's been around this long, there's only so many reactive things that you can do. And I've defended Kidd to a degree on here, but they're just running out of bullets pretty quickly, which is why these, they lost to Boston by 9. They lost to the Suns by double digits. I'm pretty sure every single one of their losses, but 2 has been by double digits. They've been getting their ass kicked.
Of our last 4 losses have been complete blowouts, uncompetitive. The Boston game was completely uncompetitive, even if the score doesn't reflect it. They had that game well in hand all game long. It didn't matter that we tried to put a little fight back up. It didn't matter the kid tried to go to Maxey at the 5 and a little 5-out lineup because he can't be a stretch 5, can't be a stretch a stretch shooter, right? A stretch 5, a stretch big. If you have the stretchability of like a stone golem, if you won't shoot, you're not a stretch 5. You're not even a stretch 4. If you won't play the dude that's clearly a 4 but won't shoot next to the big center, right, that can help you, and they can be like long and switchable together against a team that is like baking you in the mid range and getting to the rim whenever they want. I'm on about a pass game, but this one was embarrassing. It was embarrassing for a multitude of reasons. I'm really mad that first quarter Josh effort got wasted because he was playing so well.
I'm glad you brought that up. I've been so damn negative. Josh Green played a great game.
Josh Green, awesome, brother. Like I'm legitimately mad for him.
Sure.
That this is what they did in his and like this was gonna be if they had gone on to keep playing for even 3 more quarters, they could have gave up the ghost with 9 minutes left in the fourth and still would have won the game if they were playing how they did in the first quarter. And he was a very large part of it on both ends. And that would have capped off like a run of 4 straight really good games by Josh standards, but still 4 straight really good games where we could have legitimately, and I still do, like my faith in him has been restored a bit just as someone who can hit open shots and defend when he's locked in and isn't being screened to death. But we need, I know, we still got to put caveats on that because he can't read the screen to save his life, but it's fine. Or navigate rather. But yeah, we need that PJ Washington trade to come because we need Derrick Jones Jr. to get moved back to the bench. It's not even really his fault, man. He's played above his head so long this season. It's unreasonable to expect him to keep doing it. I'm not even going to be mad at him for how poorly he played tonight. And he played like shit. Make no mistake about it. He stunk. But I love him because he really gave us a spark and uplifted us for the first half of the season when we needed it. And quite frankly, when we didn't expect or deserve it, because he was the last player signed to this team, other than maybe like that Morris brother who completely fucking stinks and nobody cares about. Which, by the way, I think they missed the deadline to waive him with no penalty. So, if we want to get rid of him, we got to trade him and let him expire. So,
yeah,
that's fun. So all that, Dante came back, looked fine in his minutes to start. He and Josh Green were flying around on defense. Lively started the game well, peed it off. But again, I'm not hanging this on the head of like a 19-year-old rookie who was doing his job, and then the star let the game get blown out of proportion because he lost his head, and then the vet with like playoff experience that we brought in made 2 get shot, and then he lost his head twice and a half and got himself kicked out. And then we got we got Jason Kidd hiding his Deadpool tiny hands in his pockets the entire fucking
Did
game.
he say anything insane? Because I've not gotten to his quotes.
Kidd, I don't even want to look. I'm already like trying to ignore this Tim McMahon situation because they're not about to make this night about him. I know what I watched, and that shit didn't have anything to do with Tim McMahon or Luka getting a fan kicked out. Like they can talk about that if
The game
they
was
want.
done
They
by
can
then.
make that. They can make that the narrative. Matter of fact, Mike Bellucci had an amazing tweet after that. He was like, the fact that Luka is even concerned with that while his team is getting their head kicked in at that point in the third is the problem. The fact that was even where his head was while his team was screaming bloody murder on the court.
I've not seen the thing, but let's just give him the big time benefit of the doubt and say, all right, he talked to somebody. You agree? I think you agree with my point, having been to Mavs games, that the whole role of those security guards is to overreact.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You can't tell a security guard sick him and then expect them not to go sick him.
That's
what they do.
That happened against the Suns with Chris Paul, where Chris Paul lost his mind and they had like a 14-year-old boy ejected for tapping. Granted, don't touch other people. Really simple rule. But they had like a 14-year-old boy ejected for touching Chris Paul's mom. Like, their job is to not fuck around because you don't want to find out. So it's like, I get the back and forth, but it's just like, if that's where you are, if that's the narrative, it moves away from the fact that by that point, the Mavericks had surrendered a 16-point lead and were down by 28 at one point. Do that math for me because I'm very, very stupid. Is that a 44-point swing?
It might be.
I think at one point they said 44-point swing.
From midpoint in the second to like the end of the third, I think they said it was something like a 65-23 run, something crazy like that. It was the most insane thing I think I've seen. And I watched this team get blown off the court by the Pelican C team. It was.
I hated that game.
And guess what? We got another game against the Kings on the second night of a back-to-back coming. So they about to whoop that ass again.
I don't know, man. The Kings strike me as another team where it's like they're like all out of ideas and they've tried nothing. I think they finally have righted the ship a little bit, but there's going to be a bunch of what is happening here moments coming.
Kirk, you know what the next bright idea is?
What?
Play the Dallas Mavericks on the second night of a back-to-back and run those motherfuckers into the ground. Because if you do it, they will not fight back. What are they going to do? Turn to their coach for like some help, an adjustment, a timeout? Hell no.
It sucks, man.
This team is so bad to watch. Not only it's not even just that like they have the built-in excuses with the injuries. And we can't lean on that no more. I'm sorry. If Kyrie just made a wet graham crackers, graham crackers.
I got into it today with a couple of Porzingis fans, and I just got to say this again because we're an hour in on a podcast where hopefully no 17-year-old kid is going to screen cap me on this and try to dox me or whatnot.
Yeah,
but it's like Kyrie is very important to how this team functions, and today. I had someone tell me that Kyrie Irving is in his prime. A 6'1", 175-pound, 13-year NBA vet. I just am thrilled when he's on the floor. Okay? He is that special sauce. But they also need him. So it's like when I had a bunch of people telling me, oh, yeah, he's going to play 75 games next year, I'm just like, I need that hopium. I want him to. That's not a question. But it's just like, this is where Dante Exum hopefully comes back to form a little bit and we can work our way through this because they need Kyrie. Kyrie was real bad against Boston. Got covered up.
Real bad.
Luka was so much worse on offense. Kyrie's defense against Boston wasn't even a factor. But it's just like they need these two to hum. They can. And so it's like I don't like any sort of negative narrative about the two of them because it completely destroys the fact that we've actually seen it work. It does work.
But I tweeted about it earlier. It does work, but
there was a great story on ESPN about this from Ramona. I think it was Ramona of all people, Ramona Shelburne, that gets into him. It's like, it was a lengthy. Kyrie talks about how he likes playing with Luka. I mean, and Kyrie is a verbose quote, which makes me sometimes I don't know whether to believe him or not. But that's neither here nor there. He's willing to talk, and I read that story and I was like, yeah. Go seek it out if you haven't seen it. It'll make you feel a lot better about the Kyrie Luka partnership if you have any questions, which I don't. I think it can work. So I don't
have any questions. It's can they stay on the court? It's like the haters are gonna win. I feel like I tweeted this earlier. I'm afraid the haters are gonna win because it don't matter if it can work if we can't get them to play 6 consecutive games together
with Dante Exum, which I think
with Derek Lively with an actual NBA center. If we can't have that, then this is fucked, and that just is what it is. And when you get a bunch of games like that stack up and stack up and stack up and add up and add up and add up, and all these built-in excuses and all these, let's get healthy, let's get healthy, let's get so-and-so back, we're missing this role player, we're missing this key role player. Okay, you get damn near everybody back. Kyrie sprains his thumb or whatever, knock on wood, hopefully it's not too bad, and he has to miss the game. Okay, fine. The dude that we inject into the starting lineup because he's been playing well off the bench finally does the thing where he comes in and plays the way that got him into the starting lineup starting lineup, and the whole team around him shits the bed. I don't give a fuck about who's hurt. I don't care about who's healthy because we get healthy and we play a halfway decent team. We punch them in the mouth and they punch us back and we fucking fold. And it's just to the point where it's just hard to watch.
Right. I had to ban a Suns fan.
Right, that was crazy, and I was more mad at dude because he was spamming the chat, but he wasn't funny. I'm like, bro, you got to be funny if you're gonna be doing this.
Yeah. Oh man, all right, man. I will talk with you soon. All right, thanks for hanging out with us.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's see here. Coming up next, we're gonna go to Henry, team captain Kyrie, who's been joining us past the second show in a row. I think I've done one of these, Mr. Captain Kyrie, but I'm gonna call you Henry because we tweeted today. How you doing?
I'm doing today, I'm alright, boss. So I'm not on the computer. Can you hear me okay?
Your audio is fantastic. So we're going to, just so everybody knows, of those who are waiting, we're going to go Tyron after this and then Matt, along with anybody else who wants to talk. So tell me what you're thinking today.
First off, fuck kid that bald Halloween candy, fucking Skittle. Bro, I hate this guy. I'm changing my thing, man. This is what you're going to see repeatedly on Twitter now. I'm just keeping this here as a permanent fixation here. But, I mean, to address that last point for the guy that just went, where he said we punched him and then they punched us back into the mouth. I feel like that is a remnant of the coach. Didn't you tweet that you wanted to see Kid get ejected just to show he had some passion, or was that someone else? For some odd reason, your audio is just left out.
I'm a dummy. I muted myself because I was hacking. Okay. I did tweet that. You're correct. And my thought was, and maybe it's stupid of me thinking about this about sports teams like a business, because all of us have jobs and stuff like this. But it's like sometimes you just want your boss to go to bat for you,
right?
And and he didn't, and I'm disappointed in him.
And then, again, everyone who's been in a competitive environment or played sports knows that leadership starts at the top and then trickles down. So I wasn't a Mavs fan during the Rick Carlisle era, but obviously Rick Carlisle is one of the most amazing coaches in the NBA. And some of the things that I've seen is Luka didn't like Carlisle because he held him accountable, actually ran plays, had good timeout management. I can't speak to that because I wasn't around to watch it. But that's just what I'm basing it off of. So if Luka didn't like the coach because he held him accountable, ran actual sets, plays, and had good timeout management, you didn't insert Jason Kidd, who does whatever the fuck you want to. Even if we get another coach, and I want Kidd gone by 11:59 tonight. I'm making no mistake about it. But even if we get Kidd gone, what's to say that he's going to buy into the next coach and we're not just in the same situation a year from now? So I'm not going to blame Luka and say it's all his fault or nothing like that. But as the leader of this team, or the supposed leader of this team, your body language is going to be rubbing off on the entire team. If I see your head down, slowly chugging back on defense, it's going to permeate throughout the entire team.
That's right.
I need him to buy into the coach, whoever that may be. And I feel like that was a big thing for tonight.
Well, and the coaching stuff, I mean, I think I've avoided talking about it because, like, I talk with different people in the Mavs organization, not like higher ups or anything like that, but I talk with, like, like Skin Wade is an occasional friend of me. We just about Mavs stuff. Real life is fine, but it's like he's just kind of flat out told me, he's like he said it on social. He's like, they're not gonna fire the guy, and so it's like when stuff like that happens, I don't like beating a dead horse, so I've kind of avoided it. But like tonight was just one of those things where I need him as a kid as a co-leader, because you're right about Luka. Like, Luka just needs to be better in these situations, and he has games where he is, and he has games where he isn't. The Dallas Morning News wrote for the second straight game that officiating got to them, and it's like, guys, the officials aren't changing. You got to adapt who you are, and that comes back to Kid too, where it's like, if you need to send a message that you think your team is being treated unfairly, send that message. I promise you, the 13 other assistant coaches on the bench will do something about it. They'll also coach. They're all coaches.
And that's another thing I think the NBA should implement that I hope they do in the upcoming season is players have to have press conferences after a terrible game and answer for what they did. Refs make mistakes all the time. They're human just like us. Why do refs not have a press conference to address some of these horrendous fucking calls?
So that's actually a very interesting question, Henry, in that the refs are available for a pool report to address some of these things. Tim Cato is often, and McMahon are the two that I remember most kind of talking about this. The only one that I really felt was absolutely awful tonight was the Derek Jones Jr. one. Everything else was kind of like these guys like slap fighting and like very closely, but that was the one that I thought was stupid. Were any others like really outrageous to you that like flew off the screen and made you unhappy?
Man, I didn't feel like anything was egregious. I wish they would have let Grant and Katie go at it again, just
for us. Like, how fucking funny would that be?
Yeah, just let them go at it, fam. Ain't nobody punching nothing, ain't nobody doing nothing. Like, come on, man, let these people go at it. Like, this is playground, fam. Men love to see the competition. Let the testosterone go. Stop touching shit. That's what I want them to do in that scenario.
Can I read you a really painful Devin Booker quote that he gave post game?
Go for it.
Devin Booker on the scuffle between KD, Nurk, and Grant. He just wants to do the antics, man. We're out there trying to hoop, so give props to Nurk for holding that down. If I would have seen that, I would have done the same thing. That's how we get down. We're not with the nonsense. That hurts me on a spiritual level, because I don't know if you were watching the Mavs at the time, but I'm sure you've seen the clip of Ayton and Book doing like post-game push-ups when they got up on the Mavericks. Like, they are absolutely about the bullshit. Like the Suns are a bullshit powered operation. It's fine. So they are. So, but to be on the downside of something where you can't answer Book in a meaningful way really hurts me.
And everybody talk tough when they up. Like, we know he's soft. Like, we've seen it, fam. There's certain guys that when you meet face to face, like, all right, if I swing on him, I should. Come on, man. Like, we know you're not about that life, fam. He's a keyboard warrior. You know what I mean? He be in voice chat saying the N-word, and we know he ain't finna say that in real life. So ain't nobody worried about Book. It's fine. It's on to the next one. But that was bad. I don't get it. How does Kid have such job security when Adrian Griffin was second in the East, 30-13, still got displaced, and Kid has absolute job outside again, like he said, outside of that Western Conference Finals run, where they're seventh in defense. His tenure here has been hot dog water, and he has absolute job security, and it is maddening. I don't care about Luka's happiness anymore. Men operate better when there's a hierarchy. If anyone here is in the military, there's a hierarchy, and you need to follow that chain of command.
But
you need someone to answer to.
If I remember you from the first time you chatted, you let me know that you followed Kyrie around a long time.
Correct.
Tell me your opinion on this. I think Kyrie Irving is actually the linchpin and the Jason Kidd of it all, because he did not respect Steve Nash very much. Correct. For whatever reason. He has talked about how he respects Jason Kidd.
Correct.
I think there is a sort of a live wire where if you were to remove Jason Kidd from it all, that removes a stabilizing factor from things.
Kyrie Irving.
I think Kyrie likes Kidd. So it's like that removes a stabilizing factor from what would help Kyrie succeed. And 100%. That frightens me a little bit. Is that an unfair comment?
No, that's fine. Like again, like for Kyrie, when he's on the court, fucking amazing. There's not too many better than him. But it's bigger than ball for him. You know what I mean? Like if you come to him and just strictly talk ball, he's probably gonna ignore you. Like he wants to genuinely know how's your family. Like you just had a kid, how's the upbringing going? Like he cares about you as a person. And that's one of the reasons why he likes kid. But the relationship that he developed with, I'm not sure his relationship with Tyronn Lue before he took over halfway through when they that season when they fired David Blatt. But he grew to love Tyronn Lue and more importantly, Phil Handy, the development coach. But
sure, loves Handy. Yeah, there's a lot written on that because he was very. Yeah, there was a lot of photos and stories, just nice stories, but like everybody made note of the fact that him and Phil Handy spent time chatting pregame before the Lakers game.
Absolutely, he does it all the time. He absolutely loves Phil Handy, but I think at this point I'm bringing Luka and Kai, and I'm probably sitting them down. And I don't think they would obviously fire Kidd unless they had a surefire candidate. My number one pick is Mike Budenholzer. They never had he shouldn't have been fired from the first place after he had that death in the family.
Sure.
But I don't unless they have a sit down with him, and then I don't know. Do you move kids? Does Kid ego even take an assistant role to keep him on the team to keep him happy? I doubt it. But unless you sit down and say, "Hey, look, this is what we're gonna do. What do you think?" and bring them in on that decision, like I just don't. I don't really understand it. My hope and wish is again, we've seen Luka play off ball, whether it's Real Madrid or whether it's in Slovenia. We've seen Luka play off ball, and the European sets and the play calling is amazing. I can't remember a single time outside of maybe the Minnesota game where they had Powell at the top of the key. Luka set the screen for Kai and then vice versa, and he had the little dump off down to Kai and he had it right at the rim. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, I can't remember a designed play from Kid where they had a designed outcome, a set outcome, and ran it.
I don't really think they run a lot of play. Like a lot of what they run is more like motions and actions, and not because you got your shot clock. I very rarely feel like they have plays that are designed up. It's more of like I use this analogy all the time. It's a terrible analogy, but it makes me sort of think of like, remember the Titans when Herman Boone is talking about running the veer, where he's like, I have 6 plays and we just run them over and over because they always work. And I sort of feel like that's what Dallas does.
100%. I mean, I feel like a lot of it is a variation of the D'Antoni offense where it's just a pick and roll and you 5 out, kind of spread it. And literally 90% of the teams in the NBA run it. But it's hard to have a motion cutting slashing offense because if you pick and roll with Luka Lively and Josh Green cuts to the basket, you then deny space from the roller with Derek Lively. So I want this experiment to work out. As someone who lives in Texas, I'm in Houston, but I drive up to Dallas all the time. But as someone who wants this experiment to work out, if you're just going to continually play Luka ball, and right now I feel like he's in that James Harden era where he's going to put up insane numbers, but he's not going to win. I feel like if you're not going to incorporate Kyrie more into the offense and you want to continue this 5 out pick and roll 3-and-D type thing, then just get rid of Kyrie and then build this more so around Luka. Not because they can't work. I think the fit so far it's just kind of iffy. So if that's the way they want to do it. But I don't think Kid is going to allow them to succeed. I think we need. I don't know who his coach is over in Slovenia, but I think we need to run that type of offense. Think San Antonio, Golden State back when they were good. Miami. Like we need a set design. Even Tyronn Lue they were 0-6 when James Harden made the trade. They are 20-6 now ever since that trade happened this season. Tyronn Lue, with less time, has figured out how to put that Clippers team together than Jason Kidd right now, and that's just frustrating.
Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me, man. Hope you come back next game.
Absolutely, man.
All right. I have a question from somebody in the chat that was asking me why am I not answering their question. It's because I don't read the chat all the time. If you post it in there, I will star it and try to circle back to this one after I bring up my man Tyron. Tyron, how you doing?
Hey, Kirk, how's it going, man?
I got to address this. I'm pretty sure this is John Voita in the chat. I'm pretty sure he is an SB Nation colleague of mine. He runs Bright Side of the Sun tonight. He just mentioned that the Mavericks should hire Igor Kokoskov, which is phenomenal trolling. Big fan. Tyron, what's going on?
I just kind of want to address the whole Tim McMahon fan Luka debacle. I mean, y'all, let's stop. Like, we just got fucking embarrassed on national TV again. That's the least of our worries. And the fact that I understand, like, these guys are human, right? But the average human doesn't get paid exorbitant amounts of money to play basketball. Do you really think I give a fuck about what a fan has to say to me while I'm on the court and my team is getting, again, embarrassed on national television? Like, I love Luka to death. He's amazing. He's going to be amazing, but it's little shit like that, man. Like, bro, come on, man. Like,
yeah.
Who fucking cares? And then on top of that, too, who gives a fuck about a Tim McMahon? Who cares, man? Like, I just want Luka to focus on the game. And when I say that, I'm not putting all this shit because the Mavericks, the whole organization from top to bottom is one big dumpster fire. It's not on him, but I expect better from him because of who he is. And that's all I have to say about that. And
that's kind of where I am.
This game, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been interacting with the chats and the pods and stuff like, because I'm over the Mavs. Like, I'm fucking over it. Like, it's stupid at this point. Jason Kidd's attitude towards players. I'm not saying that Rashawn Holmes is gonna do anything for us, but fuck, man, like, can we at least put him out there? I mean, it's just weird. His family tweeting out about, him not getting any playing time and Jason Kidd, this, that, and the third. Like, bro, what the fuck? We're not winning. You know what I mean? Get the guy some heat. If we were winning, that's different. If we had decent big men, that'd be different. We have one. We have one decent big man as a 19-year-old that can't stay on the floor. And that's nothing to do with him. He's still learning the game, the NBA, I should say. That's fine. But outside of him, we don't have any fucking big men. Like, let Rashawn Holmes get some run. And I know people hate Jaden Hardy, but fuck, when Jaden Hardy gets in the game, he looks pretty, at least somewhat alive. Unlike most of the guys that are out there on the court, it's just little shit like that. Like, if we're not winning, you don't have the luxury of benching people and ostracizing people and just doing stupid, embarrassing shit like that. It's fucking embarrassing. Like, bro, what'd you say the point differential was? The comeback, what was it? 40-something points?
It was a 44-point swing at one point.
Come on.
That's bad. That's hard.
Yeah, you don't get to, I guess for a lack of a better term, you don't get to be mean to the players that you have when you fucking blow 40 points, bro. Like, it's embarrassing. I almost went to the game tonight, but honestly, like I said, I haven't been messing with the team. I'd much rather would have just stayed home tonight, which I did, and I'm glad I did. It's hard to watch. We don't have any off. I mean, I heard you, and I can't remember the gentleman's name that you did the previous show with tonight.
Matthew,
yeah. I heard y'all talking about schemes. I don't see any schemes. It's literally hot potato until Luka gets the ball and everybody gets the fuck out the way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Suns were running, like, this is the sort of stuff that the first time they were running a lot of different mixed coverages at Luka. And that was really when things started to get stupid because they were throwing doubles at him and he was making the right pass. Derek Jones Jr. had that one series in the first, I think it was first quarter, where he had 3 straight turnovers where he looked like an infomercial, just like stumbling, rumbling, bumbling. It's like, what? I understand that guys want, the Mavericks to play differently. I kind of like having that discussion, but then you understand, folks, that the other options are then more Derek Jones Jr. dribbling, more Tim Hardaway non-threes.
Yeah.
Is that what you want? Like, I do tend to, like, I've sort of mentioned fairly frequently that I want a little more, not like selfish play, but Kyrie gets the ball in a lot of situations when he's playing with Luka where I would like to see him let it fly more. I spent part of the day, I don't know why I do this, but I spent like part of the day talking with various fans. Somebody's like, Luka shoots the ball 95% of the time. He needs to pass it Kyrie more. Well, Luka shoots 24 times a game. Kyrie shoots 20. So if you want that to be like 22 and 23 each, fine. But that's not the difference in the games they're losing. That's not they're the best 2 players. And if they're not playing on the court together because one of them is injured, because between the 2 of them, they're at 25 missed games.
Yeah. We're not even halfway to the season.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, something different that I want to see is I want to see Derek Lively do more than just catch the ball at the top of the key.
I want to see some weird shit from him. Couldn't agree more.
Like, again, we're not winning, bro. Like, fuck this. Now's the time to try stuff like that. Because apparently could be wrong, but apparently when Derek Lively was in high school or whatever, he had a mean jumper. To me, that gives you another option on offense. If he's at the top of the key and he can just turn around and put the ball up or whatever, then that's a whole nother option. But for whatever reason, this coach that we have that's getting paid all his fucking money can't even figure out and try that and exploit that. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
If he can, maybe he can put the ball on the deck. We don't know. But the only thing we want Derek Lively to do is to catch the ball at the top of the key, with his back to the basket.
He does some dribble handoff stuff.
Yeah, but that's it. If I'm the opposing team, I mean, that's not hard to defend. I know exactly what you're gonna do because this guy, he literally is stuck in quicksand at the top of the key. Like, I know he can do more than that. Like, let's see it. Because he's never, unfortunately, and this is what I hate about when the Mavericks get young guys with talent like this, they pigeonhole them and they don't ever really develop them. I feel like Derek Lively has so much more to offer, but the easy thing to do is to stick him at the top of the key with his back to the basket and pass the ball off and catch alley-oops. Come on. He can do way more than this. Kid's fucking athletic as hell.
Well, I just want to see it because it's like all this stuff starts to be in like the game-to-game scouting reports. I talked a little bit about it with Josh on Monday. If Maxi's not going to shoot the three ever, which he did shoot, let me see here. Maxi shot. Congrats to Maxi Kleber. 2 shots in 22 minutes. Real good job, you dummy. If Maxi's going to get the ball at the top of the key on some of these kickouts and just do nothing with it, at least give me the thrill of a Derek Lively jumper where I don't know what the shit is going to happen.
Yeah. Can I say this and you let me on the show next time I decide to get on here?
Are you kidding? I got people in the chat that we have some, I let everybody on the show. This is the internet. Unless you're being overtly mean, I'm probably going to let everybody talk.
You probably shouldn't let me on sometimes. I'm not going to lie to you, but no, can we just get rid of Maxi Kleber? Just stop. It's over. It's over with Maxi Kleber. I love the guy to death. Handsome duffel that he is over. He's cooked. Poor guy. We ran him in the dirt, but he's done.
Yeah.
And that, like I said, that gives more room for other people. At this point, I don't give a fuck what people think about, some of these other guys. I just want to see other guys out there at this point because this whole run it back shit ain't working. I'm tired of it.
I feel you, my man. Thank you so much for joining us once again, and particularly waiting to chat.
For sure, man.
So, all right, we'll talk soon.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to bring up Matt next, who's waiting down below. But before I bring up Matt, do me a favor, like the stream, subscribe to the show, send me an email if that's something that at all interests you. I have this email, podmaverick@podcast.com. We talk about all sorts of stuff here on the show. We attempt to be as democratic as possible here because it's just basketball and it's supposed to be fun. We have a question from, let's see here. Dylan asked this question a long time ago, but I had to start it. I'm going to come back to it. He said, do we really think Luka is a better number one option for this team, giving the pieces in the direction Cuban wants to take the team? Kyrie has the IQ and the fire and doesn't burn out in the second half. Guys, Kyrie's missed 17 games. That's not an insult. That is a statement of fact. Please go look at all the games that Kyrie's missed over the years for one reason or another. He's a 31-year-old, 175-pound, 6'1" point guard. Expecting him to hold and carry this team is not a fair expectation of him. Kyrie is an outstanding basketball player who is coming into the age and the minutes and the games played where I don't think he wants to have to carry the team every night. He's a great basketball player. But in expecting more out of him, I just think isn't necessarily fair. That's just where I'm at. All right, Matt, welcome to the show. What's going on?
How you doing, Kirk?
All right. What's going on?
I just first off, I want to say I'm a Luka fan, but I think he acted like a total, I can't say that word tonight, but I think he acted like a total jerk tonight. And
you can call Luka bad names. That's fine.
Okay, he was a dickhead and all the other things he is, but I totally agree with. But one thing I get annoyed and I'm seeing a lot more is one big thing you mentioned it a little bit ago. I think it gets lost. I don't think this team is very good other than Kyrie and Luka. And I mean,
sure.
I'm trying to be nice. Just Derek Jones Jr. is just, what was he on the Bulls last year? Played 18
he was a minimum signing. He was their 15th man signed.
And I mean, I love Derek Lively. I'm not like,
Yeah.
but he's just not it. Like, I mean, not it. Like, he's just. I mean, there's no way we should be relying on him this much. He's a 19-year-old kid. Like, he's unbelievable, but like, he's gonna get worn out eventually. It's just frustrating. Like, do you really want to play? Are we really gonna lose our minds on Holmes not playing and Hardy and like, I'm not trying to.
Matt, I think that's us as fans wanting to get mad at new and different things.
No, I totally agree. And I think Kid is the biggest. I'm not a Kid fan. I'm not, but let me defend him for a second? And trust me, I think he needs to be fired. I mean, they went to the Western Conference Finals when I felt like it was a legit team and they had pieces and they got put together. Last year, I mean, we all know it. When Brunson left, it was just a shit show. And they threw Kyrie in there and it was just, I mean, and this year, I mean, I think he's a horrible coach. I'm not trying to. Like, I just feel like that we're missing the picture. This team isn't very good. And it's like.
They're better than last year, though. And that's where, like, I've talked about this on previous shows where I think the expectations of fans coming into this year were kind of wildly out of pace. But I understand why. You got Luka, you got Kyrie, you should be able to do interesting things. But then Lively pops off. We look good early. We started off 8-2, and since then have essentially played sub 500 basketball, to be quite. I mean, that's just the way the math works. But Rome is not built in a day. And I've had a little bit of a hard time with like the expectations of, oh, well, we just need to be better right now. And I'm like, I look at the injuries. I look at the roster. Like they're Lilliputian. They're a tiny team. And then there's Derek Lively and Luka. So what my expectations are, it's like, all right, if they're hitting threes, yeah, I would like a little more schematic, like variety in their offense and defense, but I'm still not even sure that would matter.
Well, that's what my point is. I get so annoyed. Like, I'm not trying to start. The one thing I get annoyed is that Luka has the ball and he shoots too much. Like, and I'm not trying to say this. I've watched him since Madrid. Like, my family's from Slovenia. My grandfather is. So that's how like, what else do you want? Do you want Josh Green shooting the ball freaking 5 more times? I'm not trying to, like, it's just so.
But those are your options. That's what you're talking about, the distribution. Yeah.
I mean, the Monday's game, I'm not trying to go back to a but did you see the spacing on the court when Kyrie and Luka were trying to do anything? It was the worst I've ever seen.
We're this far into the year. This is a great point. We're this far into the year, and the scouting report, which I'd mention is this sort of like nebulous thing that exists. But teams understand what other teams have. They're going to let Derek Lively and Derek Jones Jr. shoot. So there is no operating room. So that's why you try to play Tim. Tim gives them space. But then Tim is like spinning around like he's in an ice skating rink because he doesn't know how to guard anyone.
Streakiest shooter that ever existed. He either goes literally.
It's that stupid scene in The Office where the guys are all like finger gunning. Yeah. Like that's what the Mavericks are doing because it's like you either die one way or die another, and then hope you shoot 45% from 3. That's how they win.
And there's no other. And I like I'm not trying to say this, but we kind of got screwed because I feel like we had these chances to build something and we messed up and we missed those chances and now we're kind of at the bottom. And trust me, I'm the biggest Luka fan alive. Like I'm not being like it's frustrating, but I don't know what else they can do. And it's just like I think Kid's a horrible coach, but man, I wish we could have seen that Western Conference Finals team the next year and see how they could have. Like I'm not trying to say like it's
I get it.
This team is horrible and. I mean, I'm very curious to see what they do at the deadline because, I mean, I think Luka acted like a dickhead, but I felt today was the first time he actually looked like I'm getting tired of this crap. Like, and I'm curious to see what happens because.
Well, I mean, there's some interesting reporting out kind of about what happened in Milwaukee. I can tell you this. Whatever that owner, whatever that GM says that they didn't ask for players' input on this, they are lying liars who lie.
Yep.
Giannis or Dame, or both, simply raised their hands at one point and said, what are we doing here? There are stories going back to game 2 of the regular season that were like the Bucks are in disarray. Yeah. Luka, if he wants to, Kyrie, if he wants to, can raise their hands and say, well, we didn't know Kyrie certainly knows this. He knows you can do this. Luka might not know that you can do this. You can raise your hand and say, I want a new coach. Maybe the Mavs won't listen, but he could ask. And considering what the Mavericks have walked away from so far in Luka's career with kind of giving him whatever he wants, I don't see why they wouldn't now.
Can I say a good point that you made earlier for not the guy before, but the Kyrie fan, where sure. I think if I actually love watching Kyrie, and my opinion has changed on him since he came here. But I think you're right. I think if kid's gone, I think kids like I don't think kids coach, but I think you have to have somebody to protect Kyrie, and I'm not looking
No, it's like
highly.
he respects Kyrie, so it's like, what options do you have? Like
Ex-
it's a fair question, and it doesn't come with any implications. It comes with a track record. So he that's why the Kyrie gamble was a good gamble for kid, but they're kind of in this Gordian knot where if one thing goes, the whole house of cards, mixed metaphors, sorry, the whole house of cards might collapse.
and I keep saying this to people. I mean, I'm on Twitter so much the last couple of days, getting annoyed with people. Like I probably should. Deleted the app tonight. I was so annoyed. But like,
Sure.
I mean, if you take Kyrie and Luka off this team, I mean, I really think it could battle with Detroit for the worst team. Like
Certainly. Nobody
I
can
just
dribble.
I just feel like and I kind of I listen to you every night. I don't really get a chance to come in.
I'm really sorry.
I when I used to get annoyed where we can't make a move, we have to grow. And I mean, I get your point. I'm just getting to the point where like I don't want to be a bearer of bad news, but what happens if nothing changes in it and we just shit hits the fan and like things go to hell? Like I really think things could blow up quickly. I'm not trying to be like that, but I just unfortunately can see it, and it's just
It
frustrating.
certainly can. It certainly can. But you know what? Here's the flip side. And since you're our last guest, I'm going to close on something moderately positive. You know what else? What could fix all this? Tell me. What do you think could fix all this?
I think a trade didn't just.
I have much simpler. Win a fucking basketball game.
Yeah, true.
Wild. I really do. I think that helps.
Yep.
Sorry for cussing. I cuss a lot. My wife yells.
No, that's good. Trust me.
Yeah. All right, man. You got anything else for us?
No, it's good talking to you. Hopefully I can come on more. Thanks, Kirk.
Hope so too. Appreciate it. All right, guys. If nobody else wants to come up on stage, I'm going to look through. I saw some interesting questions. Got some folks that are pining for Ayton. If we're talking about Ayton, we are down bad. Go read Ayton's quotes about how you can't take him, how he's a max player, and you can't take that away from him. Oh, guys, thank you. Dylan, tell your wife I'm sorry. I appreciate every single person that stuck around for this long. You guys are fantastic. Even the people that yell at me. This has been Kirk Henderson. I'm over here. Pod Maverick. This has been Group Therapy. Hope you feel a little bit better and not too much worse. We will be back Friday. I don't know if we'll do a second live show Friday. We'll probably definitely do one on Saturday just because it's a back-to-back. Guys, things are about to get so freaking weird. Everybody have a great rest of your week and go Mavs.